Tottenham Hotspur, a club where hope is eternal, patience is optional, and drama is included in every season ticket. After Ange Postecoglou sailed off into the sunset with a Europa League trophy and the love of millions, a new man walked into Hotspur Way with a plan, a grin, and a very Danish twinkle in his eye. His name, Thomas Frank. This is the story of how a former schoolteacher from Denmark became one of the most respected managers in English football, why he's perfect for Spurs, and how he might just build the next great Tottenham team, with spirit, smarts, and maybe, just maybe, a touch of Pochettino magic. To understand why Spurs fans should be excited about Frank, we need to go back, way back, to Denmark, the land of Lego, bacon, and apparently underrated football tacticians. Thomas Frank's journey begins not in a football dugout, but in a classroom. He was a trained teacher before becoming a coach, and honestly, that tracks. Because Frank manages footballers like a great educator runs a classroom. He's structured, fair, listens well, and occasionally dishes out tactical homework. His first major job? Coaching Denmark's youth teams. The under-16s, 17s and 19s. In a land famous for Vikings, Schmeichels and Bluetooth, Frank was quietly shaping future stars, developing an eye for talent and a gift for man management. He built a reputation as someone who could make average footballers play like geniuses and teenage wonder kids act like professionals. Like a footballing Mary Poppins, but with a clipboard instead of an umbrella and no creepy chimney sweep. But Frank wanted more, and in 2016 he packed his bags and flew to West London, joining Brentford as assistant manager. Now, at that point, Brentford wasn't exactly on anyone's radar for revolutionising football, unless you were playing Moneyball with football boots. But Frank got it. Brentford needed an assistant manager with a brain for football and a heart for people. He fit perfectly. They are the club known for its Brad Pitt tactics, data obsession, and being smarter than everyone on practically a League One budget. And Thomas Frank didn't just survive in that system, he thrived. When he took over as head coach in 2018, Brentford were mid-table in the Championship. Not bad, not great, the football equivalent of oat milk. But after a difficult start, Frank brought flavour, structure, belief. In 2021, he led them to the Premier League, ending a 74-year absence. The bees were buzzing, literally. Well, not literally, but kind of. Anyway, the opening day brought a 2-0 win over Arsenal. Welcome to the Premier League, baby. Under Frank, Brentford didn't just stay up, they grew. Strong at set pieces, deadly on the counter, and masters of recruiting players most clubs ignored. Ivan Toney went from League One to England call-ups. Brian Mbeumo went from promising winger to Premier League hitman, and David Raya became one of the league's most wanted keepers. And what's the common denominator? Thomas Frank. Always Thomas Frank. And here's what sets him apart. He doesn't just sign players, he improves them. In the age of bloated transfer fees and Twitter scouting, Frank is old school in the best possible way. He actually coaches. Under him, players increase their value. Squad harmony improves, and everyone knows their role. Think of him as football's version of Gordon Ramsay. Intense but caring, strategic but fiery, and guaranteed to turn a raw potato into a triple-cooked Michelin star. So let's hit you with some facts. Between 2021 and 2025, Brentford averaged a top 10 expected goals differential, despite having one of the smallest wage bills in the league. They beat Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea multiple times, just for fun. Oh, and they turned a profit on nearly every player sold. Ivan Toney, developed under Frank. Mikel Damsgaard, Brian Mbeumo, even Ethan Pinnock all improved massively under Frank's coaching. Thomas Frank doesn't just sign players, he levels them up. And Spurs fans, you know how frustrating it is when your club signs someone promising and then nothing happens? Ndombele, anyone? Well, with Frank, something happens. Always. By 2025, Brentford had become the Premier League's most overachieving team. Their wage bill, bottom 3. Their results, consistently top 10. And let's talk tactics, because Frank isn't just vibes and hugs. He's flexible, intelligent, and deeply, deeply into structure. He often used a 3-5-2 with high-pressing wingbacks, or a 4-3-3 when needing to control more, and occasionally a 4-2-3-1 when the attacking talent called for it. But what makes his team special isn't just the formation. It's balance. Brentford under Frank defended in packs, attacked with clarity and transitioned like a Swiss watch. Smart pressing, quick wide play, long throws and set pieces used like tactical grenades. Sound familiar? Well, it's a modern twist on what Poch brought to Spurs in 2015. Intensity, intelligence and an actual plan. But it's not just stats and tactics. Thomas Frank is elite where it matters the most. Man management. He's the guy who remembers your dog's birthday. Players love playing for him. Ask anyone from that Brentford squad. They'll say Frank made them feel valued, seen and believed in. Hell, some players stayed at Brentford when bigger clubs came calling just because of him. And for us Tottenham fans, that is key. After years of chopping and changing managers, from the fire of Conte to the bristling refusal to look journos in the eye of Ange, we need someone who connects, who brings harmony, not headlines. And let's be real, Frank is like Poch 2.0 in many ways. High pressing, high standards, an acute ambition, and the kind of emotional intelligence that makes fans feel this guy gets us. So, how did Thomas Frank end up at Spurs? Ange Postecoglou, bless his attacking philosophy, was ruthlessly moved on after delivering Tottenham's long-awaited 2025 Europa League triumph. Emotional scenes, tears, confetti, endless boos, an Yves Bissouma redemption arc nobody saw coming. But with Ange gone, Daniel Levy faced a classic Spurs conundrum. Do we swing big again or go smart? This time he chose smart. Frank walked through the doors of Hotspur Way with a plan, a spreadsheet, and probably a well-prepared PowerPoint titled Why I Can Make Spurs Win League Games Again. Tottenham wanted continuity, so the tight bond between fans and players forged during that Europa League run couldn't be broken. But not another marquee name, not this time. The club wanted a builder, someone who'd continue the momentum and deepen the connection between fans and players. And Frank, well, he was ready. He'd turned down bigger jobs before, but Spurs offered something special. A top 6 club, usually, with top 4 potential and a fan base craving league improvement. Now, let's address the cockerel in the room. Will Thomas Frank bring Premier League glory? Maybe. But more importantly, he'll bring identity, just like Pochettino did in 2014. Frank will create a team that plays with intensity, unity and actual tactics, not just vibes. His 4-3-3 and 3-5-2 formations will allow the likes of James Maddison, Decky Kulusevski, Dom Solanke and Pedro Porro to shine, amongst others. Youth Academy players, expect a few debuts. Transfers, expect smart buys, not panic buys. He'll raise player value, he'll build a squad, and most importantly, he'll make Tottenham Hotspur feel like a team in the league again. Still nervous? Well, here's why Spurs fans should believe in Thomas Frank. It's simple. He makes players better. He works within budget so won't fall out with Levy. He connects with fans and he builds identity. He won't just rotate lineups, he'll nurture talent. He won't demand £200 million in the window. He'll turn 20 million signings into £60 million stars. But if he does get £200 million, as Spurs have spent in the past couple of summer windows, he'll spend it wisely. Like Pochettino, he'll focus on fitness, mentality and pressing, making Spurs hard to beat, harder to ignore and maybe, finally, consistent again. And let's not forget, Frank wants this. He's not using Spurs as a stepping stone, he's here to build. Tottenham is not an easy club to manage. It's emotional, it's chaotic, it's, well, Spurs. But Thomas Frank, he's calm in chaos, a connector, a guy who'll look you in the eye after a 2-2 draw away at Sunderland, say, we learn, we go again, and next time, we will win. Spurs fans, be excited. We're not just getting a good manager, we're getting a leader, a developer, and maybe, just maybe, our new footballing dad. Sure, we're no strangers to reinvention, and with Thomas Frank, we've chosen a thinker over a brand name, a coach over a celebrity. Yes, the Premier League is brutal, yes, the expectations are sky high, but so is the potential. With Frank at the helm, Spurs have a manager who understands people, tactics, and, I think, the beautiful chaos of football in N17. So as we enter this new chapter, one filled with hope, spreadsheets, and maybe fewer post-match meltdowns, remember this. You don't need a miracle worker. You need someone who believes in the work. And Thomas Frank, he's already rolling up his sleeves. This isn't just a new chapter. It's the start of something that feels right. Thomas Frank, Tottenham Hotspur. Let's cook.